Hi, today we are going to discuss another disease spread model. In the previous model, such as SARS and HIV, we only considered the human being, the susceptible and infected group. But in today, when we talk about malaria, we are going to consider the agent, such as a mosquito, that help to spread the disease. Well, in the United States, we don't see a lot of cases of the malaria, but it happened all the time in the history and also in developing countries. So to address the significance of this, I would like to give a little review of the history. Well, the archaeological discovery, you can Google it, suggests that the malaria contributed to the downfall of Rome. And we cannot ask the Rome about if this is real, but we can dig out the body, the corpse of the ancient tomb to discover the trace of the malaria, and especially when you have the huge epidemic disease. In today, still have 200 million people suffered from the disease, even in 2010. And about 655,000 died from the disease, and the most are the kids under the age of 5. And that may explain why Miranda and the Bill Gates Foundation contribute so much money, made an ambitious goal, which is to control, eliminate, and ultimately eradicate malaria. So you can find this from the website attached here. So as an overview, we know malaria most originated from Africa and spread it to the humankind to all continents. And the major agent to carry the disease from one human host to another susceptible person is mosquitoes. So in this model, not only we're going to talk about a human being, but we also look at the population of the mosquito agent. So we talk a little bit of background and the process, how the disease is spread, and then we explain the conceptual model to look at the real connections. And then we build the mathematics model and validate our model. Well, I'm not in biology major. Those are the 3 keywords I learned recently. One is vector. Well, this is not the vector we talk all the time in mathematics. It's the animal agent that transmit the pathogen from one host to another animal or human being. We call it a vector. So in this case, mosquito is the only vector for the malaria. Well, another keyword is spiritualize. When a mosquito bite, it injects a thread-shaped infectious agent, which is called spiritualize, to the human host. And then this spiritualize will live in the liver to hide from the immune system, multiply and reproduce thousands. When all those spiritualize matured, it becomes another type of invasive cell called the merizolites, which break open and release into the blood. When mosquito bite, and suck from the blood and then transfer the disease to the other mosquito. And then the mosquito become a host, bite another human being, and then this human become a host. That's how the disease, malaria, is spread. Well, a little more clear, if we look at this diagram, we look at two species. One is human, another is mosquito. But unlike the prey and the predator model, and the mosquito is just a vector for the disease. So start from the host of this disease has the spiritualites, which usually hide in the liver for a couple of weeks. And then when it matures, it becomes merozerites and then spread in the blood. And here's what happened. When the mosquito bite this human host, suck the blood, and then the mosquito could fertilize and produce the eggs, produce tons of spiritualites. And now when this vector carry the disease, bite another human, and then this human being will become a host and start the cycle again, have the spiritualites in the liver and reproduce, and then you go cycle back and forth. Then the whole idea is the mosquito here transfer the disease from one host to another host, which had no disease before. So that's the fundamental procedure to understand how malaria was spread. So in this conceptual model, we make some assumption. The first assumption, what we need to think about the population, usually we have to think about birth and death. But since the human lives much longer than mosquitoes, we are not going to discuss the human birth or death, except we only consider the death due to malaria disease. And the second, we assume as soon as the vector bites the human, the individual will become a host. And no immunity exists for the uninfected individuals. Means everybody will get the disease once you get bitten by the vector. And but once the host bitten by the mosquito, they have two possibilities: either die or become immune for a little while. And in this model, we have two sub-models. Both are population models. One is the human population sub-model. Another one is the mosquito population sub-models.